Good morning or good afternoon, whatever time you guys are listening to this. Welcome back to another episode of the Layman's AI podcast. I am Adam,
And my name is Brian.
and we're here today to do something we haven't really done before. Brian, we're going to talk about an AI tool that is pretty popular, yet neither you or I have experience with it. So we're
Hmm.
going to talk a little bit about this tool, what we've researched about it, and then we're going to ask some questions at the end of what does this mean for the layman, as we always try to do, always trying to tie it back to them. So
Yes, yes.
full disclosure, Brian, you shared this tool with me,
Hmm.
and it's called Duckbill AI. It's basically
Yes.
your own AI personal assistant. You shared it with me as an idea for an episode. Both
Hmm.
of us tried at one point to take a look at getting a free
Free
usage or
trial. Yeah.
free trial, and we found out very quickly they do not do free trials. Um, and we did
There are
find out
some
very
reasons for
quickly
that, though.
there is some reasons for that. And we did find
Yeah.
out that it is kind of on the expensive side from a
Hmm.
monthly standpoint. However, I got excited about it because I said, this is an amazing AI tool for the busy person.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, in life you get what you pay for. Like you get out of it
Yeah,
what you put into it. And this is not a free one, which is why I couldn't really do a demo for it right now. If we were going to do a true demo, we would need some time to work with it a little bit. But
right.
no, I mean, there are some paid plans. Kind of looking at some of the other paid plans as well, but some of them cost there's a $30 starter where you can just kind of give it a little try. Then you can have $100 a month, um where it gives you task credits, and you can use it for an individual, like 40 task credits a month. And then there's a household for 169 a month for 70 task credits. Now that would be two people, ideally two business partners or husband and wife essentially.
You know, Brian, excuse me for a moment. Did we say the name of the app yet?
Duckbill AI, yes we did.
Duckbill AI. I'm just double
Yes we
checking
did.
because
Yes
my
we
memory is going by pretty quickly. So it is Duckbill AI, and
hmm
it is expensive.
Yeah, it's not cheap.
There is no doubt it's not cheap. So this is one of those ones. It's almost like a life administrator. So
Hmm.
let's talk about what we mean by that. By like a life administrator, um, it's pretty cool. It can book
Hmm.
appointments for you. It
It
can
can.
answer emails for you. It can
Hmm.
even handle bills for you. It can buy concert tickets for you, sports tickets for you. It
Hmm.
basically does work for you.
Yeah, I mean, you give it a task, and this is kind of what I like about this one, like sort of the idea behind it is that you can you know you have the AI powered like kind of assistant and like sort of the agent
Hmm.
working for you, but there's a human aspect behind the app itself,
Hmm.
where they actually have a team of basically assistants working with the AI feeded content, be like, hey, Adam needs, dinner reservations for his anniversary, and, Brian needs to, book his wife's birthday trip or what have you.
Yeah,
Gotta give shout outs to the wives just in case they're listening. Might be listening upstairs, I don't know.
I don't
But
know. I feel like we'd have done better with Mother's Day and our moms than we would have our wives.
yeah, something like that. But no, it just kind of like gives you, some tasks or whatever, and we all go through that. We all go through the day, be
Yes.
like, okay, I gotta do this, I gotta do this, I gotta do this. Oh man, I gotta answer that phone call, or oh god, I gotta use the bathroom real quick. And then
Hmm.
you're walking back, and suddenly your kid's asking you a question. I'm like, man, what did I do? What
Yeah.
was I supposed to do and everything? And
Yeah.
you can just pull out the app and be like, okay, I need this task, and this cast list it for me. And
Yeah.
then you can kind of put it down and it
And
remembers for you.
when it comes to Duckbill AI's marketing, one of
Hmm.
the big things they do is they market heavily get things done with confidence and get your tasks checked off. There was a
Hmm.
stat at some point, excuse me, there was a stat at some point where users of Duckbill AI were much more likely to complete tasks because A, it does some of them for you, but B, holds you accountable to getting
Hmm.
them through and following through with them. I'm thinking we're at the end of the year, New Year's resolutions and things like that come up in 2026.
Oh yeah.
People completing tasks is kind of a big deal to establish routines and establish new
Hmm.
habits. I think I read somewhere if you can establish a new habit in 18 days, but a lot of people don't make it to the 18-day mark. Um,
Hmm.
so with that being said, this would be a tool that could help you help you get there. Because it certainly does appear that it does what it says when it comes to following through a task.
Yeah, and it seems like it's very open, like whoever you are.
Hmm.
Like someone who's a teacher is going to have a very different to-do list than someone who's an engineer.
Yeah.
Someone who owns a cake shop in New York City is going to have a very different to-do list than somebody running a t-shirt shop in Kansas City suburbs or what have you. I'm just kind of throwing some ideas out there.
Hmm. Yeah.
So like you can really uh kind of tailor this, I is what I'm like gathering from it. And and like I said, we always stress that AI is a tool. And everybody's experience right now is AI LLMs. That's all people like really
Right.
think about it right now. And this is like one of those kind of forefronts, be like, okay, how can we integrate this technology with human beings? And that's why I like kind of like directions like this, I think we do go more in.
Yes, this is much more of the it does some executive tasks for us instead of doing the research behind stuff and
Hmm.
telling us answers to questions and things like that. This is something that is much more of it's an executor of tasks.
Yes.
Some of those tasks, I think some of the data said it was that there's over 75 tasks it could do for you. Um,
Hmm.
I mean, this is a mobile app. It is web-based as well. You could text it or email it. And I believe it gets things answered or accomplished within 24 hours, if I remember the research that we did on it
Yeah,
correctly.
I'm reading some of the FAQs and they say the next business day
The next
is
business
that
day.
somebody will get back to you. So
That's a
that's
pretty
good.
quick turnaround in the modern
Yeah.
world.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is a very quick turnaround. And you can see if something like this grows more, you're going to need a lot more people. And this is going to create a lot more jobs as well.
Hmm.
And everyone is kind of worried about, oh, AI is taking away jobs. But like every new piece of technology, it's going to create more. And here's an example right here of how AI can create a new job that never existed before. Because I
Yes.
think I read a statistic, 75% of current jobs didn't exist before World War II. So that's kind of like shows you how things
Wow.
evolve over time. So yeah, I think the turnaround was about 24 hours and there's human beings behind this, which I think a lot of
Yeah.
people will appreciate.
I think they will appreciate that. And even though we've never used this, and by the way, we should say this is a non-paid sponsor. We are not paid
Hmm.
by Duckbill AI. But
Yeah.
as always, if you want to pay us, we will gladly take your money from you.
Yeah,
I feel like I have to add that every time. There
exactly.
was when we did our research for this, there was a heck of a lot more positives than there were negatives. Even when we
Hmm.
went on other sites, and we'll talk about that later. But interesting enough, when we started talking about by the numbers, the business story behind this.
Hmm.
Um, there's a lady by the name of Megan Joyce. She's pretty famous. She's the ex Uber North America general manager,
Hmm.
and she was a former COO of a big health company.
Hmm.
She's actually the founder and CEO of
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
Um, and when you see the commercials for it, she's kind of the front runner, the spokesperson, speaks
Hmm.
very confidently. But because of her busy background of being a COO and a general manager of a major corporation, she
Hmm.
understands what it's like to get busy every day in terms of the chaos that approaches you. How do you keep your kids' medical appointments in line, as
Hmm.
well as make sure you're provided, the cheapest provider, finding gifts for a spouse or a birthday coming up. I mean, all the examples we've already said. So I think that benefits this company in terms of when she speaks, people are going to listen because she is not only talk the talk, she's walked the walk.
Oh yeah,
So
very
she's one of the
successful
big
career.
spokespeople. Yeah, very successful spokesperson. Speaks very elegantly, and she's good.
Hmm.
She's good at that.
Yeah,
And
definitely. I've no, not to cut you off, but I have seen a number of things about her. Let's just, be real. North America general manager of Uber, which was a
yeah.
revolutionized the taxi game right there. And then, also worked in the health industry as a chief operating officer. But yeah, no, she, came up with this idea because, like you said, you know, I got my train of thought. You have, the husband working, you have the wife working, you want to have kids still. And there's been a rise in people who just don't want to have kids because they just don't feel they have the time and their
Oh,
career is sort of taken over,
fun
which,
fact. Did you know
yeah.
there's a term for that?
Dink,
Dink. Very good.
dink.
Yes. Good job. You got
Dual
your trivia
income,
question
no
right.
kids. Dual
Dual
income, no.
income, no kids. Yes.
If that's what you think of. But I think more people like want to spend, do some more time with their kids, but they have all this going on there
Yeah.
in the background with their career and everything. And if you just had something to make it simplify it for you, and here it is, this could really help you balance
Yes.
because you're a sports dad. I'm just
Yeah.
starting out as a sports
You're just
dad,
starting
and
out. Yeah. You're just starting your journey. Don't do
yeah.
travel sports, Brian. Don't do the travel teams.
Oh, we don't speak about that. Shh. Anyway, but no, you have your kids. They're starting to get into school. They got the concerts, they have the plays that they're in, all
Yes.
the other extracurricular activities, and you want to be there, and everything. And you don't want to be that parent that's sitting in the stands, ty typing on their laptop, half paying attention to your kid. And when your kid's big moment comes, it happens to be the time you're looking down at the screen and everything. So
Yeah.
this can really assist you with that because if you want to have a career and kids, both of you, which is a very common thing nowadays, things like this can help you out greatly. And I think that's what she really put out there as the reason for this, essentially.
I agree. We've never spoken with her. We've
Hmm.
only done a little bit of research. We've seen her speak on, I think, CBS News, some other
Hmm.
YouTube things that I've seen,
Yeah.
and I think she's got a very good idea here
Hmm.
that has come to fruition. And frankly, like we said, there's a much more positives than negatives when you look at the numbers and look at the research. She's somebody who uh, probably understands why you would need a family plan. If you
Hmm.
when you were reading off earlier the prices for this, a family plan would be realistic if you both have. Let's say you have two
Hmm.
alphas, like a mom and a dad are both alphas, and they
Hmm.
communicate well with one another. I mean, if the dad's over here like, okay, I got to get these five things done, the mom's got to get these four things done, but two of them, go together, the app or the AI is going to pick up on that, do the task for both of them, and they've both saved time and nobody's doing double the work.
Hmm.
So there's
Yeah.
some added benefits to that I think are a part of this.
Yeah, definitely. And, also looking at some of the statistics and everything, they're still in kind of an early phase with this product too. Like
Yeah,
this is definitely a work in progress, but it's a good time to talk about it, I think. But
it's
um
been in existence for a couple of years now, and I think it hit
yeah.
its peak 2 years ago, but
Hmm.
it's got a very good reputation.
Yeah, definitely. And 3 years for a tech company for a turnaround and start putting together a product, that's a pretty good turnaround right there, I'd say. And this is 70% are women for
Yeah,
for this product. I think there's a whole list of reasons probably. I think I was looking at what is it? 43% of women say they're more stressed out than they were 5 years earlier, and 25% describe their stress as extreme. And I don't know if that's higher than men. It might be higher than men. Could possibly be. I don't know if we as men lie about it to people. I think we
I
do that a
I
little bit more.
I think men lie about it depending on their age.
Yeah.
In our generation, Brian, yes, men are lying
Hmm.
about it.
Yeah,
They're
like we're
absolutely lying about it. They've been
like
trained and
we
conditioned to lie about it.
yeah, we can't
Yeah.
say that, oh, we're stressed out. We're stressed to be like, no, 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 no,
No,
I'm not
no,
stressed
no,
out, but
no. I'm a
we're
man.
we're a duck on water. We're because we
Yeah.
try to do that. And women are a little more open about these things, which, might be actually a good thing, maybe something we can kind of learn from a little bit. But yeah, it's kind of an interesting product, really,
Hmm.
kind of like marketed towards women. I think I think more in the fact that when women see a female CEO, they get drawn to that product naturally. I mean, nothing wrong with that.
Hmm.
That's kind of natural instinct or what have you. And I think when a lot of men, especially like older men, they see a woman CEO, they kind of question it without really thinking about it at first, which it's a sad way to go, but that's kind of the reality. I think it's
It
like
kind
fading
of
more
is,
with
but
the
I do think that's fading, like you just
yeah.
said. I think that oh, it's a female CEO. I really do. Not to talk
Hmm.
philosophically, but I do
Yeah.
think that is going by the wayside because when you shared this project with me, I got more excited than you did about it. I was like,
Hmm.
wait a minute, this is an executive. I'm a pretty busy person, and
Yeah.
then when I found out it was from a woman who was way more
Hmm.
busy than I can even fathom. As
Yeah.
a, I loved it. I was
Hmm.
like, this product is really good, and clearly
Hmm.
She was in some kind of communication with the planning team and clearly understood what some of the issues are that are facing day-to-day people in terms of you want your family time, your lifetime, and you need help. And
Hmm.
this is a secretary, though I will say 100% not as good as an actual secretary, but this is something that can happen 24/7 as
Hmm.
opposed to something that only happens when you're at work.
Okay.
That's the way I
Yeah.
would explain this.
Yeah, definitely. Um, yeah, this I mean it's a very good product as we've kind of repeated that now. I'm kind of repeating myself
Yeah,
again.
we
Um,
we should dive into the research as to why we are certain it's a good product, even though we've never tested it.
yeah, definitely. So anyway, let's just go through a few things here. Sorry, I'm kind of bouncing on a few
No, you're fine.
screens here.
So what we did was to research some of the background. We did use AI to help us research some of the background, and in particular, find us reviews and what people are saying about Duckbill AI.
Hmm.
And some of the things it came up with was what fans love about it was one of the titles, and it gave us a lot of data. And it even went to places like Reddit, which I never really trust everybody on Reddit, but I feel like if you want to get a good feel
Hmm.
of how things work, go through, read some Reddit posts, and I think you'll be pretty happy with the knowledge that you can get when you read from the people that are articulate and aren't there to be crazy or whatever.
You
Um,
gotta
I,
follow the right threads
yeah,
as with
I've always
everything.
found the better the grammar, the more likely the source is accurate. Uh, and as long as it's not AI generated, it's usually pretty
Hmm.
accurate. But there was a Bustle style review that gave this product a 5 out of 5 rating. And it said Duckbill made reviewer feel like it was on top of things, highlights the ease of logging the tasks and having human and AI handle the rest. So
Hmm.
again, humans and AI handle the
Yes.
rest.
Yeah, very I feel that's something we have stressed
Yes,
over and over again was that like don't use this to replace you. Use this, don't use it to make or to try to think of the way to think about it. Don't think AI is replacing you and don't think of AI as making you better. Think of you using AI to make yourself better. That's
right.
kind of the whole mentality of the whole thing. And I think that's where kind of this comes into here. So,
Yeah, one of the examples I saw in a video was that the AI will do things like um, booking a hotel appointment for you, but it may have
hmm.
to interact with a person via email or confirmation or something along those lines, and it's able to do it.
Hmm.
So there's still a human on the other side of it that is not losing their job, but they're talking to an AI representing a person.
Yeah.
Very similar to agents, but I wouldn't call this agent. I wouldn't call this
Hmm.
product an agent. And one of these days, Brian and I are going to have an episode on AI agents, but it's not going to be this day, and it's definitely not going to be the next episode. So we
Hmm.
will get to that,
Definitely.
but we're not there right now. But well, when we did go to Reddit, there was a lot of positives from the working moms spaces
Hmm.
that people were, I think the word obsessed was used with Duckbill
Yep.
AI and that they use it for everything. Like we said earlier, a lot of positives about this, a lot of positives. And there
Hmm.
was a very common wow factor when it came to complex travel or moving logistics, even moving from one house to the other.
Yeah.
Pretty big deal there.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Yeah, anybody who's moved know it's not a easy task.
No, it's not.
Actually, fun tidbit. My wife and I went through a period in our lives. We moved 3 times in 2 years, um,
Bless
and
you.
haven't moved for 10 years since then. So that was we're
Ah,
very, very happy to say that. Not going through that process.
have you ever moved out of state?
No, never
Oh
moved out of
gosh.
state. You have,
Oh,
I know you have at least once,
twice.
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 Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So I mean, that could handle the logistics of it. I'm sure you would have loved having this when trying to figure that out.
I would
Trying to
have.
figure out road trips and
Road
everything.
trips in particular also find me the lowest cost because apparently that was one of the things. It was one of the examples would be like, I want you, like, we're at the dinner table. It's Friday night. We're talking about going to the Browns game. Hey, what are the cheapest tickets you can find to go to the Cleveland Browns today for a family of four?
Oh yeah.
Apparently, this does a very good job at that. And then when you say, buy me the tickets,
Hmm.
you got them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a fun little thing you could do. Just like
It's a
get me
nice,
tickets to there
it's a
and
nice
everything.
feature. Yeah.
Yeah. Or you're in a town that you don't know. You can say,
Hmm.
hey, I like to do, I want to eat around this time. Can you find me some Thai food around this area of the city? And then it gets back to you, be like, oh, I found these three restaurants.
Yep.
Say, okay, I want kind of the least expensive one. I'm on a budget, and can you make reservations around 8:30 and stuff like that? So, you're not sitting here fiddling on your phone because nothing's more annoying than fiddling on your phone, trying to make a reservation. I've done that before. It's just incredibly annoying. And, this could essentially get you off your phone a little bit
Right.
and like let you see the world because you're not doing all
Yeah.
those little mundane tasks there.
Think about what you just said in
Hmm.
terms of doing research for restaurants that fit what you're looking for, then
Hmm.
doing the booking. So if I'm me, for example, I have a trip upcoming. I have a hockey trip, as you can imagine. My boys play hockey. I have
Hmm.
to go to Utica, New York, which
Okay.
I have. I hear it's very cold up there. I'm about to find out, you know.
Hmm. Upstate,
But
yeah.
yep, upstate New York. I'm headed there. If I had this and said I need a gluten-friendly menu
Hmm.
on a Friday night, book me the place, cost efficient, all that stuff, it would do it in probably a matter of less than a day without me
Hmm.
having to do anything other than just say that or type that in. I think I have to type it in.
Yeah.
If I didn't have that, I'd have to go on TikTok, YouTube Shorts, possibly Instagram Reels, look for
Hmm.
restaurants and like scroll through for a few minutes each
Hmm.
one. What's gluten free? What's this? Then I'd have to go to each one's menu to verify it. I'd have to check the hours, check the times, go to Open Slice, which is an app I like to use if I need
Hmm.
dinner reservations.
Get some pizza.
Yep, get some pizza, or it's actually Open Slice is really good if you like sushi. My son and I do like
Okay.
sushi, so
Gotcha.
it tends to the sushi places seem to use it. So, anyways, I'd have to go to that, use that. I'm talking at least 25, maybe 45 minutes of my time just researching,
Hmm.
and this thing, from what the reviews have said, could do it in a matter of moments, and you
Yeah.
don't have to waste that time.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, this is where it kind of, gets you off your phone a little bit is something that I think would be very good positive with everything. You could just kind of like handle a few things.
Hmm.
But with every positive, it also has some drawbacks. Can't
Uh-huh.
say everything, nothing's perfect.
Yep.
I tried being perfect, didn't work out too well. But one of the big things, you find, and obviously we discussed at the very beginning, the cost of everything. This is not
Yeah.
like this is not cheap. This is not a like
No,
cheap
it's not.
little. You don't get like a free LLM to do some research for you. But if you do have some disposable income, this can come in very handy for you.
I
But
would agree with
you're gonna
that.
pay
It
for it.
it can. You're going to pay for it though. And I hate to say this, but to me that means it works.
Hmm.
If you're willing to pay more. And
Yeah.
I understand why a lot of people need something like this in their life. But
Hmm.
it is a pretty drastic cost. I mean, when we're finding trial plans for 25 bucks a month, I think it was.
Hmm.
25 bucks a month gets me full access to ChatGPT.
Yeah. Gives me Claude.
So in addition to it, yeah, you got Claude. I think it gives you Gemini too.
Hmm.
So you're talking in addition to having all that, you're gonna pay another
Hmm.
20 bucks. That's
Yeah.
how all of a sudden like the streaming services, these AI services add up, and next thing you know, it's a
Hmm.
huge bill, part of your
Hmm.
monthly income. This is this could be a thing, but for some people, it's worth it, and I can understand why. I really
Hmm.
can.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely. I mean, like honestly, if I'm a business owner, I'm like getting this to really kind of check off my
yeah,
deal list. Like especially if you're a small business owner,
absolutely. Yeah.
you or you're some kind of supervisor, executive, you're forgetting meetings or what have you. Th This is definitely, I think, worth the cost in that regard right there.
I would have been interested in this when I was still a high school principal.
Hmm.
I really would have. I would have been interested in this, and I'd have been like, what can our district do to get an account for all administrators,
Yeah.
as well as secretaries, like so that they're on the same page? Like, what could we have done to get this? I feel like we
Hmm.
could have ran a little more efficiently with something like this. And what I loved about this, when I was a principal, my job was beyond the 9 to 5er at
Hmm.
times, and stuff would come up at night, and I'd be able to quickly, hopefully, get some resolution to it as a result of having a nice tool like this.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Another another kind of complaint, a learning curve. I think
Yeah,
with any kind of new technology, I think they're still trying to figure it out too. But
absolutely.
you're gonna it's gonna take a minute to get used to it. I mean, I kind of take a minute to get used to things that are outside my routine as well. And suddenly, getting this whole like personal assistant to someone who's never had a personal assistant before, it's going to be a little tricky and what have you. So,
Yeah,
but the learning curve, I think people can, you'll get by that. I don't think that's too big of a hurdle, personally.
right. And then there was the last point of there was some stuff brought up on Reddit that people were just
Hmm
hesitant to use it because they thought it was too much access or control to give up to a remote assistant. And I do understand where they're coming from on that one. I think you and I have mentioned we sometimes get worried with how much data are we willing to give up to
hmm
AI.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
yeah, we're going to
Um,
talk about that a little more in a little bit when we do the wrap
Yeah,
up questions.
I
Yeah.
can see that. I feel like that's with any kind of tech service, really. Like any
Hmm.
sort of tech service, your privacy and your data is going to be a concern. Whether
Right.
you're using an LLM, like a free LLM or a paid for
Right.
service right there. So I think
Definitely.
that can definitely be worked out for sure.
Yep. So let's do the one paragraph here we wrote in our notes. Bigger picture, AI plus humans versus big tech. We talked about the human in the loop model. And we did talk about the CBS interview that we saw where Duckbill emphasizes a mix of AI and
Hmm
human specialties. And they do call it a co-pilot, which is really interesting because just last week's episode, we featured Microsoft Copilot, which
Yes.
was phenomenal. Could not
Yes.
have performed better.
Yeah.
And this is kind of like the co-pilot. It is the scheduler. It is the assigner of tasks.
hmm
So that's kind of what this is. If I had to put my finger on it.
Yeah, I mean, I do agree with that. I think the idea of mixing AI with humans is like the big key right here. That's something I stress, not only on this podcast, but also to everyone who is like leery about AI. I'm like, don't let AI take over. Like, mix the human
Yeah,
element in with the AI because that'll be better. And, I've been a big advocate for, you know, if you're going to vibe code with an LLM, learning how to code will make you better and everything. So adding the human element with this machine element, I think, is the big takeaway right there.
it is. And I want to jump down to the because we're coming up on 30 minutes here. I want to get down
Hmm
to the wrap up,
hmm
which we Brian and I thought of some questions that we would ask ourselves as a result of learning that this existed and the
hmm
excitement that's generated by it. My first question was how long until the big three, or four or five, whatever it is, the big names like ChatGPT, Gemini,
hmm
Claude, Grok, how long until they develop their own personal feature of this?
I would imagine they're already starting.
I know they've already
Um,
started to do stuff because
yeah.
ChatGPT at one point had this automated you could tell it what you were looking for. So I told ChatGPT, and this was in the summertime, give me a daily brief every morning. What's the top
hmm
news in AI? How did the
hmm
Cleveland Guardians do last night?
hmm
I gave it all my what's the weather in my area. I
hmm
think I did like five or six things. I wanted it every morning.
hmm
Every morning, two or three things were incorrect.
hmm Okay.
Drove me
Yeah, I
nuts.
mean, early adoption of the technology.
Correct.
That's what it is. But I honestly think they're already trying to start something like this.
Hmm.
However, let's look at the video rental game or the video rental game back in the day when Blockbuster was the big dog in town. Then
Yeah.
Netflix came in with their mail-in service and
Hmm.
everything. And it was, you're taking on the big guy, Blockbuster. And it's like a noted story that Netflix offered to sell the company to Blockbuster and they got laughed out of the meeting room because
Right.
Blockbuster's like, you're a joke or what have you. Who won that one? Everybody knows who won
Yeah.
that one, and it sort of evolved, and now Netflix is the biggest entertainment company in the world. Um, it just kind of like started out with this idea, the streaming idea. Then you got Disney, you got Paramount, you got NBC, like all the big companies now. They're like, oh, we got to stream now. Like this is where it's
Yeah.
at. And they, had this whole backlog to throw. at the streaming service, like especially Disney Plus. They had this huge backlog that they could just drop right there on the Disney Plus service. But Netflix is still killing it because they were able to hit this ground running, and all the other big companies kind of had to play catch up. So I wonder if this will take off or there will be some kind of merger, perhaps.
It wouldn't shock me if it
Hmm.
takes off or if there was some kind of merger. But
Hmm.
it also wouldn't shock me if you told me right now OpenAI and Gemini are looking to make their way of doing this as
Hmm.
part of their general user experience and
Hmm.
when they unleash it. Because what I love about this one, this doesn't do what the LLMs do. The LLMs are really good at getting us information. They're
On
really
the
good at
spot.
that. Probably top notch. Top notch.
On the spot.
This makes things happen
Hmm.
for
Yes.
us and
Yes.
saves us a little bit of time here and there, everywhere. And as a result, that makes it useful.
Hmm.
Um, Truth be told, am I willing to pay that price for that? No, not right now.
No. No, not right now.
Not right now. But if
Um,
ChatGPT said, hey, for an extra $5.99 a month, we can add this feature that does all this,
yeah.
like, wait a minute. Now all of a sudden we're talking because I'm already paying 20 something dollars to you a month.
Hmm. Yes. So
That,
yeah, I mean I can see that too. Like if like I pay for Claude subscription. Um myself. It's not the only one I use. I'll be frank with that.
mm-hmm.
But I guess I also kind of pay for Copilot because I got a Microsoft 365 account, and that comes with
Oh,
some Copilot right there. But you know, if my Copilot or Claude said, "Hey, extra $5 and you get something like this," I'm doing it.
I am.
Um,
Yeah.
I would see Microsoft doing something like that because then you can integrate the Outlook calendar like we demonstrated last week,
Yeah.
and everything. So,
That's funny you brought that up because in my mind, now that you said that, Microsoft Copilot might be the closest to be ready to do this.
quite possibly, because they already
No,
have,
I guess Google could too. Now that I think about it, because Google, you get access to your calendar, you get access to a lot of things
yeah,
with
and
Google.
well, I actually did read Duckbill uses the Google Calendar, for
Oh,
the tasks. So yeah, they're integrated with
nice.
the Google Calendar. So
I cannot
yeah,
live without the Google Calendar.
yeah, Google and Microsoft are in line for this, and you know I think with Outlook and like all the Microsoft Office features too, they kind of have this in line to sort of fit something like this in seamlessly.
Right.
And you never know, there might be a merger or there might be a buyout or something because that kind of happens.
Yeah.
Um, anyway, that's kind of the thoughts. What are the big names? How much of our personal stuff are we willing to let AI do for us? Um,
Uh,
Menial, very very
yeah.
menial things.
So we brought up the buy the Cleveland Browns tickets for us. What are the
Hmm.
cheapest ones? Okay. I don't live in Cleveland anymore, so I don't get to go to too many Browns games.
Hmm.
I am not sitting in the cheap seats. And I did say what are the cheapest seats so you can
Hmm.
get. But I will tell you this, I tend to want an aisle seat. And I guess can I program that in to do that? I'm not sure. I'm very suspicious of letting it even buy sports tickets for me because I know what
Hmm.
my preferences are when I go to games. When I go to hockey games, I know I need that seat near the aisle. That is
Yeah,
very important to me to be very close to the aisle. I
yeah.
I got a son with diabetes. I need to make sure that I'm able to get up and go if he needs juice and stuff like that. So
Oh yeah,
selfishly, I also like the aisle seats. I don't mind people going, back and forth in front of me, but I like the aisle seats because I can quickly get up without inconveniencing others.
yeah,
Uh,
definitely. Like, actually, the middle row is kind of nice too because you never have to get up. I've done that before, where you're like dead center and like if you're on like kind of like the 25% in range, that's when you have to constantly get up and down. But that's just kind of a finicky
yeah,
little thing right there. But I mean, I don't know like this the answer to that question to be honest with you. Like
no, and I
how much do I want? It's kind of like this is just so new
I went with the most
to me.
minute example. Here's
Hmm.
the thing for me. I don't want any AI to have my credit card. So
No.
we're saying book, purchase, maybe it does it through PayPal. That I didn't look into. I want no financial information tied to AI. I don't want AI knowing anything about my finances.
Yeah, I think in that sense, I want something like PayPal. Whenever
Yeah.
I know I do this already, whenever there's a PayPal option for any sort of online purchasing or shopping, I go for that. Like I want that PayPal option there just to have that kind of extra barrier.
Right.
And with cybersecurity, you know, one of the biggest things you can do is create an extra barrier between the
Right.
hackers and your information. And PayPal, it's just an extra barrier, which
It's a
is
necessary barrier.
yeah, definitely a necessary
I
barrier.
agree with you. Yes, I have a
So,
PayPal. I'm sure you do.
mhm.
It is very necessary with your online purchases. It makes it a lot safer for you.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I think with financially, that is kind of a necessity is to run these sort of like that extra barrier and a third party barrier I might
Yeah.
add too. Because if you add that barrier within this product and kind of make it as one, then one firewall breach and there you go. But with adding a third party payment system to something like this. And you can have whatever third parties. PayPal is the big one right now. There's some other ones that are coming up. I can't think of any off the top of my head. I think Cash App is one of them.
Hmm.
Venmo is by PayPal, I do believe. Uh, even some crypto wallets. That just kind of popped into my head, like linking a crypto wallet to something like this could add an extra layer of security.
Yeah. And we've already discussed the health
Hmm.
privacy issues, and we
Yeah.
did a two-part episode on that one. So, um, anyways, if you're interested in that, listen to one of our past episodes on
Hmm.
AI and health.
Yeah.
Brian, here's a question for you.
Hmm.
We have two more.
Hmm.
How many years until this kind of thing becomes a common practice? This type of thing that Duckbill does for us. How long until this becomes a common practice?
I Man, how long is a piece of string? I mean, I mean, common for who? I would say first. How
Common for the
is kind of
common
the thing.
American uses AI to schedule stuff, keep their
The common
tasks.
everyday
Uh,
American, I, I
yeah,
I would say we're closer than we may think.
I agree.
I think we're closer than we might think just because of all these apps that we have, and if we're able to link all these apps.
Yeah,
But I mean, it's just habits right now. I think generations are going to really be the ones to drive this because I know our parents' generation. They're not going to touch something like this, obviously.
right,
Our grandparents' generation, for those of us who still have grandparents with us, not going to touch it at all. We're trying to figure it out right now. And
right.
our kids' generation is probably gonna be whipping this thing around like it's nothing.
So
Uh,
I'm going to share my prediction with you. I'm not going to
hmm
say it's bold.
hmm
I think in 5 years this will be common.
I
I,
think so.
I don't even know if cell phones will look the same way they look right now, and
Hmm
I anticipate a lot of talking to it to do stuff for you. I
hmm
don't even think apps might even be a thing 5 years from now. I think that it's going to be a
hmm
look. The Cleveland Guardians are playing the Philadelphia Phillies. I need tickets. I want them on the first baseline, upper deck if possible. Get them for me, and I want an aisle seat.
Yeah,
I
I
think
mean,
it's going to do it for you.
I can see that. But I still see the phones kind of coming into play because when it makes that reservation or it does something for you, you still have that screen to check it out and just
Yeah,
kind of like verify it yourself.
I don't think the phone itself is going to work. I just think it's going to look a lot different than like these Apple phones and these Android
Yeah.
phones. I think it's going to be a lot different. I don't see us scrolling through apps in the years to come.
No, I see it. Yeah, I definitely see kind of apps as sort of peaked right now, as
Right.
far as just like any old app. But it's going to be interesting to see which ones come up and everything.
It certainly is. It certainly is.
But as far as when I think within 5 years it's going to be a lot more accepted.
Yeah.
I would say if you're a small business owner, I think you're going to see a lot. This um basically handle a lot because if you're a small
Yes.
business owner and you need a personal assistant, you got to go through the interviewing process, not anymore. And
Right.
that's going to make your business more efficient. And there might actually things because of this might actually have a bigger success rate for small business startups. Because I think what is it, 60%, 70% fail within the first year,
That's
or
crazy.
something, yeah, something
Brian,
crazy like that. And
how many podcasts fail in the first year?
I don't know. Not many make it as far as we do,
I
so
know.
we're
Aren't you
already
proud of
beating
us?
80. Yeah, we're beating the 80% curve just because we're determined. But yeah, I think yeah, common practice I think is sort of open to translation as well, or open to interpretation, I should say. Is like if you're a small business owner, I think you're going to see this blow up with small business owners for sure.
I agree. I do.
Hmm.
I do. And our last question, and Brian, I want you to be brief on this answer
Hmm.
because we're running out of time, and this is probably an episode for another time.
Hmm.
But this led me to believe that there's this term going around of using AI as a second brain.
Hmm.
Now, the way I've understood that term is that you basically feed all of your daily information to AI, all of
Hmm.
it, all the meetings you've been in, all the stuff you've done, what you noticed, what you saw, and all of it goes up there. Every PDF that was sent to you, every email that was sent to you, it all gets sent to AI.
Hmm.
And then AI stores that memory, but then will tell you what 3 or 4 things you'll actually need to remember from your day. And then you
Hmm.
personally memorize those. They're
Yes.
they're calling it AI as a second brain.
Hmm.
This will help with a lot of that.
Yeah, I mean, having a personal assistant, um, will definitely assist with something like that. I'm trying to think of some more clever words. I'm r running out of intellectual phrases to use here. But
Oh, that's all right. I do that all the time. Then I just say
yeah,
something big like Albuquerque or something
yeah,
like that.
yeah, I know. But yeah, like the term is a second brain. This could give you or give it kind of a push towards that. And
I
what
agree.
I view as a second brain is an AI model that gets trained to you as a human being, and you continuously train this specific AI model strictly tailored for you.
Yes.
What you've learned, where you've been, what you like to do, who you've met, et cetera, et cetera. And this like could, be trained to tailor you. Could be creepy. That does sound very creepy as we're talking about it. But if you let the machine the idea is not to let the machine take over you. Because no matter how intelligent a machine seems, there's always somebody telling it what to do. It
Yep.
only does what it's told to do. That's our old math teacher back in high school told me that, and that's one thing that's always stuck with me. The machine is always doing what you tell it to do, no matter what.
Yep.
So, but the second brain idea, I don't think people should be scared, but definitely cautious for sure.
I
But
would agree. Caution is huge because even with Duckbill AI, you're
hmm.
telling it what you want it to do for you. It will actually complete tasks for you. But
Okay,
how much do you want it to do? How much will it learn
exactly.
about you before it knows you? It won't
Yeah,
take long. It won't take long.
exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, either way, I think that about wraps it up this evening. I'd
Yes.
like to give everybody a big thank you for taking your time out of your day to listen to us. My name is Brian,
And I'm Adam.
and you have been listening to the Layman's AI, and we will see you next time.